which goes something like this. And the way we're going to approach that is starting on the 2nd fret, we have a power chord shape, very similar to what we did up here on the 5th fret. Remove your 1st finger to create an open 6th string, put it back, and then we have a little pull off here to our power chord here on the 5th fret. With the root on the 5th string. Then we have a couple harmonics with the whammy bar thrown in for good measure, and the way we create harmonics is what you want to do is place your finger right over the fret, but don't press that string down. And you'll find if you pluck it and remove your finger kind of quickly, that string will ring out. And those are the 2 harmonics we're going to use. They're both on the 7th fret, one on the 4th string, and one on the 3rd string. So that whole riff is going to look like this. Then it happens again. And we have another 4 notes that go like this, which is a transition between that part of the verse and the next part, which we'll get to in a minute. So after this, we're going to go, which is open 4th string twice, 4th fret 5th string twice, or once rather, 2nd fret 5th string 1st finger. So we have open, open, 5th string now 3rd finger, then 1st finger. All that together. And we're going to follow that up with an A chord, followed by an E, which is 1st finger over the 2nd fret 5th string, and also 2nd fret 4th string. And then back to our 2nd fret power chord. So we're going to have A, E. This is actually an F sharp chord, this power chord on the 2nd fret. Whole thing together. And then comes that neat little fill. Which we'll get to in a little while. Okay, so that little part we just heard is going to be played like this. We're going to start with our 2nd fret power chord again. Open string, back to the chord. So far we have this. Next we're going to go 1st finger 2nd fret, 3rd finger 4th fret, both on the 6th string, to our A chord, and then back down. 4th fret, 6th string, 2nd fret, also on the 6th string, open, 2nd, and then 4th. Again. Next, we're going to do that same power chord riff again. And wrap it up with a couple chords that are similar to what we saw in the transition between the main riff and the verse riff. Again. So that whole section. One more time. So onward we move to the verse, and that's the riff that goes like this. The first chord of this starts with your first finger on the 5th fret, 2nd string, second finger, 3rd string, 6th fret, and 3rd finger, 7th fret on the 4th string. Next chord we're just going to move our whole hand down 1 fret and switch our first finger and our second finger. Then down to the 2nd fret, same chord shape. Then to an A chord, which is our first finger, across all 3 of these strings, and an open 5th string. So we have switch the fingers, move it down 2 frets, the 2nd fret, down to our A chord. Now in between each one of these chords, we have what's called a pedal note, and a pedal note is something like this that's played over and over again. In this particular song we have kind of a gallop rhythm before the first chord, 4 muted notes, second chord, 4 more muted open strings, and finally we ended up on the A chord. So slowly in between each one of those, they throw in this little note here, which is the 3rd fret, 6th string, 2nd finger. So what we end up when we put it all together and with the exception of the 4th time around, at which point he wraps it up with this, which is 3rd fret, 2nd finger, 6th string, slide it up to 4th fret, and refer back to the A chord. So we're going to have 3 of these, followed by 1 of these. And into the next part, which goes something like this. And the way we're going to approach that is starting on the 2nd fret, which goes something like this. And the way we're going to approach that is starting on the 2nd fret, we have a power chord shape, very similar to what we did up here on the 5th fret. Remove your 1st finger to create an open 6th string, put it back, and then we have a little pull off here to our power chord here on the 5th fret. With the root on the 5th string. Then we have a couple harmonics with the whammy bar thrown in for good measure. And the way we create harmonics is what you want to do is place your finger right over the fret, but don't press that string down. And you'll find if you pluck it and remove your finger kind of quickly, that string will ring out. And those are the 2 harmonics we're going to use. They're both on the 7th fret, one on the 4th string, and one on the 3rd string. So that whole riff is going to look like this. Then it happens again. And we have another 4 notes that go like this, which is a transition between that part of the verse and the next part, which we'll get to in a minute. So after this, we're going to go, which is open 4th string twice, 4th fret 5th string twice, or once rather, 2nd fret 5th string 1st finger. So we have open, open, 5th string now 3rd finger, then 1st finger. All that together. And we're going to follow that up with an A chord, followed by an E, which is 1st finger over the 2nd fret 5th string, and also 2nd fret 4th string. And then back to our 2nd fret power chord. So we're going to have A, E. This is actually an F sharp chord, this power chord on the 2nd fret. Whole thing together. And then comes that neat little fill. Which we'll get to in a little while. Is going to be played like this. We're going to start with our 2nd fret power chord again. Open string. Back to the chord. So far we have this. Next we're going to go 1st finger 2nd fret. 3rd finger 4th fret, both on the 6th string. To our A chord and then back down. 4th fret, 6th string, 2nd fret, also on the 6th string, open, 2nd, and then 4th. Again. next, we're going to do that same power chord riff again. And wrap it up with a couple chords that are similar to what we saw in the transition between the main riff and the verse riff. Again. So that whole section. One more time. There we have it, and we'll find that. Next, we have this little part right here. We're skipping past the second verse and second chorus. So this part where he's like, I know that things are going on for me. It's going to start on our A chord, which is right here on the second fret. Oh, I'm sorry. Skip that. This part is going to start on the F sharp chord, played twice, and then there's a couple mutes in there. Real similar to the bass riff you hear at the beginning of the song. Except we make it with power chords. Once again, our F sharp power chord, A, we've learned that one earlier, and E, which we've learned earlier. Back to the F sharp. Then we have this thing similar to the transition. New chord up here, we're just going to move the power chord up to the 9th fret. This is actually an F sharp chord. Slide it down. Transition again. So here's what the whole thing looks like with the mutes put in. Here it is one more time. And then the solo begins. Okay, with all. Now the first fill is during the verse, so it goes by rather quickly. Here's how we play it. We start with our third finger on the 4th fret on the 3rd string, pull to the 1st finger on the 2nd fret, also on the same string, and then pull to the open 3rd string. That's the first 3 notes. Then we do the same thing on the 4th string. 3rd finger, 1st finger, open. So far we got this. Do it one more time on the 5th string. So we have this as a total of all 3 parts. And that's what he puts in between here. Something like that. Okay, on to our next fill, and that's at the end of the 1st verse. Okay, so slowly it looks like this. One more time real slow. Note for note, we start with our third finger on the third string on the fourth fret. We're going to bend it. First finger, second string, second fret, followed by first string, second fret. There's our first three notes. Next, we're going to take our pinky on the second string to the fifth fret and pull to the second fret. And then do the same thing with the second finger on the third fret, also pulling to second fret. So we have fifth, third, fifth pull, third pull. First six notes. Next, a little transition here. We have pinky on fifth fret, third string, back to our second fret note on the second string, followed by fifth, fourth, second, on the third string. So here's the whole thing so far. Second part of it's going to look like this. Which is basically kind of walking right down the scale, the F sharp minor pentatonic scale. So we're going to start with our third finger, fourth fret, fourth string, to first finger, second fret, third string, back to third finger, fourth fret, fourth string, first finger, second fret, fourth string, third finger, the fourth fret, fifth string, first finger, second fret, fourth string, third finger, fourth fret, fifth string. So we have play it a few times here for you. Whole thing put together. And then it wraps up with this little thing 4 times, followed by an open A. Now, with this great SoundForge program, I can also slow these sections down so that you can actually hear the notes. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to slow it down a bit. And here's what it sounds like, a little program. To practice, you can actually hear the notes as they go by and fit them into the finger pattern a little bit easier, and then work them up to speed from there. And it also makes figuring out songs a lot easier. That's how I figure out most of my riffs, is with SoundForge, at least the ones that go by very quickly. Okay, moving right along, we'll go to fill number 2. Okay, so there it is through a few times. The way it's played is just like this. Slowly, what that looks like is we're going to take this little fingering pattern which is a pinky on the first string, 9th fret, pulling to 5th fret, also on the first string, to second finger on 7th fret, second string. So there's our 3-note sequence. Pull, pick. And then we speed it up. And there we have our basic pattern to perform this riff. Next, we're going to move it up fret by fret for 3 frets. And that's about how quickly he plays it. After we move it up 3 frets, one at a time, 5th fret, 6th fret, 7th fret, we're going to slide our first finger up to the 8th fret, and our pattern is going to become a little bit tighter. And what I'm doing right now is 11, 8, 9. So we have the spread out kind of pattern for 3 frets, tighten it up, and then we're going to move that pattern, what's called chromatically, basically means 1 fret at a time, all the way up to the 7th fret, 17th fret rather. So we have 3 of these, 1 transition, move it up until we get to the 7th fret. Let's slow this one down now. So that leaves one more fill before we get to the solo. Let me look. You can hear those in there. Those are just more harmonics. This time on the 5th fret, starting on the 4th string. And just moving through the strings until you get to the 1st string. And that's the fill during the 3rd verse, where it goes like this. And let's see. So the basic idea of this one is using this little lick, but only played once, with a bend on the 16th fret, 2nd finger 3rd string, 1st finger 14th fret, 2nd string, hammer to 17th fret, pull back to 14th fret. So we do that once, move it up 1 fret, so we have this. And then we're going to move the whole thing up again. Except we're going to use a different kind of a lick. This one's kind of bluesy. Or rock if you play it quickly. And it's going to look like this. We bend the 18th fret with our 2nd finger. Then we have our 1st finger on the 2nd fret, or 2nd string, 16th fret, and then 1st string, also 16th fret. Real similar to this thing that we did down here in the 1st fill. So far. And then we're going to pull from 19th to 16th. 1 more fret higher, 1 after that, so the whole thing. Here it is. We have it. There's all the fills to the song. Onward we move to the solo. Here we have the solo. And we're going to take that note by note now too. The first part of the solo, the tapping, looks something like this, slowly. And what we have here, sped up, sounds like this. So what we're going to do is tap on the 14th fret, and when I refer to a tap, it means you kind of hit the string with either the index finger of your right hand or your middle finger. It doesn't matter, either one is fine, whatever you prefer. And then we're going to pull to the 7th fret, something like that. And we're going to do that twice. After that, we're going to throw in our 3rd finger. We're going to hammer on the 10th fret, then pull back to the 7th from the 3rd finger. So there's our pattern. I'll speed it up a bit here gradually. Then we just move our index finger or our 3rd finger, whatever you want to tap with, up to the 15th fret and do the same idea. Your left hand remains in the same spot. So what we have here is this thing here, 4 times. 15th fret 4 times. Some more tapping coming up. This time we're going to tap a bent string. We're going to take the 11th fret with our 3rd finger on the 3rd string, have it bent, and then tap the 14th fret. Something like that. And then we're going to move it. We're going to bend it and unbend it a few times. And you don't want it to sound too much like this. You want to bend it gradually. So that it sounds as if you're just kind of moving up and down in pitch very smoothly. So far we're going to have this. Bend. Then we're going to move our bend down here to the 9th fret. Tap 12. So we're going to have something that looks like this. Quickly. Whole thing together. Okay, the next part of the solo, which is going to sound like this. Take that back just a hair. Again. Here's how you play that. Here's how you play that. So basically here we start on the 17th fret with our 3rd finger, walk down to the 16th fret 2nd finger, to 14th fret 1st finger. Switching strings over to the 2nd string with your 3rd finger, we're going to bend it and shake it around a little. And shake it around a little. And then we're going to move back up. 14th, 16th, 17th, bend. This whole thing together. And here we go. Here we go. We're going to start with 14th fret index finger, hammer to 17th fret, pull back to 14th. Onward we go to the second string, 17th fret, 3rd finger, then back to our first finger on 14th fret, and then back to 17th again after that. So we have we're going to add in the next couple notes. It's going to be 15th to 14th, pulled off twice. So far we got this. And next we're going to go to 16th fret 3rd string, back to 14th fret 2nd string, and then pulled to 14th. And then we're going to bend 16th fret, 3rd string, bring our pinky over here to the 17th fret 2nd string, little whammy bar, and then finally end it on the 14th fret 3rd string 1st finger. So we got something like this. And what we're doing there is we're playing a trill, which is basically you hammer on and pull off at a very quick rate, but keep it rhythmic. You don't want to be like falling all over the strings. I see that all the time with some of my students, and even out when I see bands playing in clubs who don't know what they're doing. So you want to keep it rhythmic yet quick. And we're going to start on 14th fret and 17th fret, then move it up to 16th fret and 19th fret, and from there to 17th fret and 21st fret. So we're going to go. And then in between, going back down to the 17th and 14th, there's a couple notes. Here between the 18th fret and the 16th fret. And it sounds kind of sour to me. I don't know whether it was just some notes that were just kind of hit by accident while he was sliding up and down, but I doubt that, because Randy Rhoads was such a great guitarist that he probably had everything worked out and had an intention to play every note the way he intended to play it and wanted to play it. But on its own, it doesn't sound so hot, but in the as part of the whole here, it can sound pretty cool. So what we're doing is we're moving from 14th to 16th. We're going to stretch it out a little bit here. 17th and 21st, quick 18, back to 17 and 14. With a bend, we end it on the 17th fret. Pinky tucks under, 17th fret, first string, and another bend with the 3rd finger. So let's take it up to speed. Alright, so there's that part. Next we have this kind of repeatable riff. Let me locate it here. it is twice. We'll hear it one more time while I locate the isolate it here. So we've got 3 transition notes after the, and those are 15th fret 2nd string, 14th fret 2nd string, and then 16th fret 3rd string. So the whole thing. Sounds like that. Up next, this nice repeatable lick. I'll play that along with it a couple times so you can see what we're going to do. One more time through. Here's what that riff looks like. It's a repeatable lick. And he plays it with kind of a triplet feel with these 3 notes. Funny thing, on the live version on the Tribute album, he plays it pretty straight, like this. But on this version, it's got a triplet feel to it. And when I refer to triplet feel, I mean there's a group of 3 notes, thus triplet, that stands away from your other note here. The notes I'm playing are 14th fret, 1st finger, 3rd string, 16th fret, 4th string, 3rd finger, pull the 14th fret, also on the 4th string, and hammer back to 16th fret with your 3rd finger, 4th string. And since that one's just a little repeatable lick, I don't think I'm going to slow it down. I think I'm just going to move right on to the next part, which goes like this. What we have here is another trill idea on the 13th fret and 14th fret. And then we slide up to the 16th fret. So the whole thing. So when we take the whole riff, let's start at the 14th fret descending part. Here's our 3 transition notes, repeatable lick, trill, and that leaves us with our ending riff, which we're going to learn right now. I got to cue it up. There it is through we'll hear it one more time so you can get it in your ears. Okay, slowly. That riff is going to go like this. That riff is going to go like this. Now there's a lot of notes in there and they go by pretty quick. We'll just hit them one by one. There's a group of 3 notes on each string until we hit the 2nd string. Here's what we have. We have 12, 14, 16 on the 6th string. And I use my 1st, 2nd, and pinky. You could just as easily use 1, 2, and 3. Your choice, either way. Same thing next string. So we got. Then we're going to move it down to the 11th fret on the 4th string and do 1, 2 pinky again, but we're going to squish it down a little so it goes 11, 12, 14. Move it up to 13th fret, do the same thing. So here we got whole thing. Then we're going to move it down one more string. Still 13, 14, 16. Here we're going to move it, change it up a little bit. We're going to go 14 hammer to 17. And then have it wind up with your first finger on the 14th fret first string. So we have 14, 17, 14 first string. Whole thing. Wrapping it up, we're going to take our third finger on 17th fret, slide it up to 19th fret, and then end up on the 17th fret, first finger, first string. Whole thing. So these are all in sets of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we end it with a big bend. Now we'll slow it down. So there we have it, the whole solo to Crazy Train, and that about covers it. We got the intro, the verse, the chorus, the bridge, all the fills, and the solo. So there is one little part at the end that we can kind of knock off here. We saw early. Except we're going to throw a couple little extra notes and it's going to go 4, 2, open, 4, open, power chord, A, 4, 2, open, 4, open, power chord. There we go. Have fun and practice hard.